All right. Okay, it is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. Richland County Commissioners are now in session. We're coming down the budget home stretch in terms of our meetings today. Commissioner Barrow joined by Commissioners Banks and Mears. We have our friends at the Juvenile Court, Judge McKinley, Brian Bumpus, Chad Gwinnett. We have, an in-person experience today from the source, Hayden Gray, and our County Administrator, Andrew Keller. Anyone in Zoom land today?
No, sir.
All right, Your Honor, you got court, juvenile court and detention, one of our larger budgets, so take it away.
Okay, thanks for allowing us to be here to present our budget. Brian.
All right, well, I think the one elephant in the room, if you will, and Cliff and I had a discussion about this yesterday, was the 11% go ahead in detention salaries year over year. And it's
You're on my, I mean, that was gonna be my first question. Oh, it's coming, didn't he? I have salaries are up 11% and correspond, you know what's coming, so thank you.
That's largely predicated on some additional positions that we added for teaching positions in detention. The landscape has changed as we were talking about these kids in with gun specs and stuff like that. Changes are dynamic because we have no contact orders and things like that. So we can't have the same kids in the same classrooms and things like that. So we have to have kids isolated, which means we have to have additional teachers to attend to those kids. By the standards, you have to have those kids being educated regardless of the reason they're in there. So we've had to add, we took a part-time position to a full-time position. And then for next year, we're requesting another full-time position to accommodate that. The other factor is that's playing into that situation is Title I tutors that we've traditionally relied on. Those funds are being told that are drying up. And we've already been told that we've been using those tutors in a wrong way because we've been using those tutors to teach out of county kids and things like that. Well, those funds come through Mansfield City Schools so that we're only supposed to use those tutors for Mansfield City kids. So that has limited us greatly. So the use of those tutors has gone down so that backwashes, if you will, those costs back onto us. So that's largely, that accounts for about $90,000 of that go ahead year over year of add-on. The other portion of that is we've had to increase our starting wage in detention just to get people in the door. I mean, we've been hiring at $17 an hour. You advertise for that and you just can't even get a response. So we've increased that to $18.50, and we still have a turnover rate year to date 80% in our detention officers. So we're not holding those people. But I mean, we're managing, but we're not effective. So that's the reason for that go ahead.
Thank you.
I got to say, when I visited your education folks and met some of your teachers and some of the students that were there, I was very impressed at how you do what you do and the dedication of the staff.
Yeah.
It really is very impressive.
Well, they are dedicated and they're there for a good reason because they could
There is professional.
elsewhere and they're there for the right reason. Yeah.
And a lot of individualized instruction because we'll have kids that will be 15 to 16 years old, and then they're coming in reading at a second or third grade level. So they are going to need more individualized attention than typical child. So that's even one of the reasons why we're hoping to have an additional teacher to accommodate that.
Yeah, especially with the increase of attendance that we've had, we will have, 10 kids in a classroom. Well, those 10 kids are different grade levels, different subjects from different schools that one teacher's trying to help them with. So having an additional help would benefit that tremendously.
I remember a couple of students I met seemed very bright and very inquisitive.
Yeah, but when you're dealing from anywhere from a 5th grader doing math to a senior doing English, and one's at Mansfield Senior, one's at Madison, just, trying to maintain all of that.
one-room schoolhouse.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we make every effort we can to keep them up on their current work from their school. So we've got, those teachers are on the phone to their home schools, getting their homework, making sure their work assignments are coming in and those kinds of things. It's
Yeah, I remember, I think,
a challenge.
thinking from many respects, it's a lot more than a standard teacher, a teacher in the public schools, because they had much more to keep track of and report.
Yeah.
Keep rolling.
Other than that, I think some of the larger expenses we have an issue in our courtrooms where we can't hear people speaking.
This is GIS digital.
Yeah,
That was my next question.
yeah.
You guys know.
So the judge cannot be heard from the bench and the people in the galley the judge can't hear them. It was something that we looked at years ago and honestly, Judge Spahn didn't want the microphones hanging in the back of the courtroom, so we abandoned the idea. But it's just got pervasive enough that we need to do something about the audio in both.
It'll affect two things. It'll affect the ability of everybody in the courtroom to hear everything that's going on. And it will also affect the ability of the transcriptionist to be able to hear what's occurring and then correctly transcribe for purposes of an appeal. So it accomplishes both of them.
Do other courts use that? Yeah, I mean, how does that work, I guess?
Well, it's a BIS digital is actually a recording system.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just more of will it amplify sound or is it just a recording? So
It's gonna amplify inside the courtroom for everyone that's seated there, but it's also going to help with when he talked about, the court reporter not basically being able to hear everything, type everything up, the transcript. So it's gonna help that aspect as the system we have is an older system and they're just having a harder time continuing to report after the case, so.
Recording and amplification.
Huh.
We're looking at him.
that's 62 grand.
Yes.
I believe that, I think Judge Robinson has a system for amplification. I know that when I've been in his court, system where he can shut off. He is having a sidebar conversation with lawyers. He's able to shut it's shutting the recorder off. I think it's shutting off his amplification so that everybody in the gallery can't hear what he's having a private conversation. So everybody out in the gallery can't hear what he's having to say. And then he can push a button
Right.
and turn it back on so that everybody can hear when he speaks. So I believe, you can check with Judge Robinson, but I believe he has amplification
Huh.
as well.
That's for 2 courtrooms. Ron?
It's the 60th for both courtrooms. So,
There's no licensing fee or maintenance on that. This is a one-time purchase.
We do pay an annual licensing fee to BIS Digital for the recording
That is
software. I think it's $2,200.
a year.
Yeah.
After the 62,000.
yeah, this is just for the purchase of the equipment, the installation, and getting it all set up and ready to go.
You need to be able to hear. I understand.
The other anomaly in there is we do have under detention repairs, money's put in for a replacement of an air handler.
That in quarter detention again. Let's see here.
That's
Is that the miscellaneous you had?
Under what object number, Brian?
repaired.
There it is. Wait, is that under miscellaneous repairs?
Yeah, repairs, maintenance.
Josh been working with you guys on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last year we actually split it between the two. So we just put it in a new one.
So that's
Josh was recommending
69.
in the next 4 years to be able to replace one a year. That's kind of where our systems are failing at.
notice the revenue down quite a bit. I assume that's because you're gonna be, well, we are going to be shutting down.
We lost Geauga County. We thought that they were gonna come through with some revenue. I have and it was a fetch from that county. I think there were other folks in that county that did not want that contract to occur. So initially I thought we were gonna get it. And they came back and in fact, I think we had a signed contract, didn't we?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Which I think was signed by their county commissioners
Uh-huh.
and their judge.
Oh, yeah, we were good to
And
go.
then.
And they changed their mind?
Basically, they just said, we've changed our mind. We're not gonna go with you. And so let us out of the contract. And we did not fight them.
Makes sense.
Board and care is just down, period, even without Geauga County. It fell soft this year, so I didn't want to project numbers that we wouldn't realize next year.
Are going to be doing quite a bit of repairs up there,
Yes.
so they're gonna be shut down.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of your cells or what you call
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're currently, I think at either 25 or 26 youth. And we'll have to be at maybe 13 or 14
Yeah.
youth.
The 13 is gonna be the max that we'll be able to be at when the construction's happening.
them. It's gonna be,
That presents a bit of a challenge because at least 20 of those kids are youth that are charged with some sort of gun offense.
So what's the,
Typically, I hold, when a youth is charged with a gun offense, they are held in detention pending the adjudication. And they may be held after the adjudication, may not be by us, but it may be DYS or. But I typically don't like youth who've been charged with gun offenses to be in our community. Obviously, for obvious reasons.
what's the solution? What do you do?
As in what?
I mean, you lose the capability to look, in a perfect world, we don't want any juveniles in detention, but we're not naive, right? So if you're gonna be cutting maybe a third to a half,
Could be a half.
how does that, where do you send juveniles who require a detention?
I think we're gonna have to make a risk assessment related to each juvenile. I don't know that we have the money to be able to send to other places.
Do you still use
Pending
Boys
it.
Town?
What's that?
You still use Boys Town?
We wouldn't we've not used them in a couple of years. We wouldn't use them for youth who've committed serious offenses. So we would have to potentially contract with detention center in Ohio. Not even sure who that would be, but we potentially could contract with another detention center to have them hold our youth during I think it's a couple month period. Is that what
We're looking at about 3 months, I think, is once they start construction. But you
That's
just
how
never
long it will
know.
be, because they're gonna do one wing at a time, so. But potentially during that time, we could contract with others. We'll also have to make, as I said, some risk assessments regarding who are the most serious individuals that we absolutely have to keep.
Then we go from there.
You contract with Abraxas?
We could, but they are not a locked facility. We would want
Oh.
youth held in a locked facility.
Okay, I thought it was.
So that would be, I don't, certainly pending the adjudication of a matter, we wouldn't hold a youth at Abraxas. That would be only, potentially they could be sent to Abraxas for purposes of disposition, but not predispositionally.
I noticed there's over 100% cost increase. Expense line item of termination pay report. That's pretty significant increase. Driving that.
Magistrate's gonna,
Dave, no.
Man, he's gonna have to be with Patty all the time now.
yeah,
Sure he wants to retire. I'm gonna have to talk to Patty and say, what are you gonna do to?
Is there, I think we may have another fella. Is that not gonna be a very big payout though? The
yeah,
guy from
that
detention?
one's,
The Kittlers are wonderful people. Patty.
Yeah.
He's, I think he's thinking November. Or later, the fall next year.
We'll be shopping for a new magistrate.
Well, I just want to say, Your Honor, I know we've had some fun budget discussions in the past and probably hindsight being 2020, we could have done things a little differently. And I say that on my side, and our side, but thank you. Like the budgets are well done. And I think we have a good rapport. You know, I think early on it was just both sides. I never mind a good argument, but I'm Italian. So, you know, we fight with our parents and sisters and then we're having dinner a second later. And sometimes we don't realize that maybe not everyone is like that, but I just want to say thank you. The budget was very thorough and knew all the questions that were coming, right? We know each other now. So I don't have any more questions, really.
I have, I guess, a couple of comments. I think you're doing a marvelous job. I appreciate how you put the budget together and I appreciate Brian's responsiveness to some of my questions. We discussed in the detention facility side, the increase of 11% in salaries and explain that, and I recognize that, but I also want to point out on the court side, if you go back to 2021, the increase in salaries has been only 12% in the last 5 years total, from 2,095,000 to 2,342,000.
Right.
So you've been able to hold the line on salaries and I think be fiscally responsible. I appreciate and recognize that you've done that.
Great, thank
I think
you.
you're doing a great job while you're, keeping costs contained for the taxpayers. So I did want to make that up.
Good, thank you, Cliff. Appreciate that.
Very much.
Okay, yeah.
We'll throw in an agreement with these two, but also with life. Got to figure out how to cut probably 8%.
Yeah, just to give you an idea, and that's not,
Okay.
Daryl's right. It's looking like we're probably gonna have to cut. We haven't done our fun song and dance with Auditor Dropsy yet. As I've been telling people, he initially came in with the non-human sales tax revenue estimate. And he's come up a little bit to a semi-human sales tax estimate. And Stacy and I have been talking and I think we can come up a little more. But Daryl's right. Probably realistically, we're gonna have to cut about, depending upon where Pat says he'll come up and feel comfortable to, about 8%, which is about 4.2 million. Now, we know we have some significant capital requests that we can either remove to capital or not fund. So that's sort of where we are. So it's not horrific, but it's not
Yeah.
little. And kudos to people, I would say, I haven't looked at any budgets yet and felt that, well, there's one. The overwhelming majority of budgets, I haven't looked at them and go, well, that, I can at least understand why the request is there.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's not so much the amount, it's the request. You could only have to cut 2 million, but if everyone's spot on and it looks good, that's could be a lot harder than, let's say you have 20 million in requests that are beyond, I mean, it all depends. So it's gonna be a tight budget. We understand your needs and I think it makes sense.
Okay.
We'll work to get to a balanced budget.
When we get through
Great
the
job.
budget,
Yeah.
please come back and let's talk about the family stability.
Yep.
We'll set.
I'll do that. Yeah, we'll set that up. And we'll send, we have a guidebook that we've put together, which you'll see it online, but we'll send you the physical copy
Is
as well. So it's one of those. So
Yeah, I'll bring it by. Previous.
Thank you.
Sure.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
great job.
All right, thank you.
Aiden, any questions? All right, guys. Have a great week. Go Irish.
You too. Go Irish.
Irish.
Bye.
Pitt. Rank Pitt at Pitt, college game day. All right, let's,
See you guys. Yep.
Your Honor. Well, we got a little bit of time. We'll get into our regular logistical items. Motion to certify the record of proceedings for November 6th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
All right, motion to approve requisitions.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears, Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, We have a couple items to note on the transfers and appropriations. The first is on Rachel's request for additional appropriations. I don't know if it's just timing, but that fund is already negative $66,000. So how is she asked that?
It's negative in cash?
Yeah, look at funds, look at 704 real quick. Getting this, Hayden, I'm doing my job, baby. I'm looking at all of them. Unless, now, again, flip side is I'm often wrong, so. But if I look at Fund 704, I show they have a negative cash balance.
This computer's not set up for me to look, so.
Well, here, I'll pull it up right here,
But,
right here.
we look at it. I thought it was okay. Okay.
So,
How about a motion? to
well,
accept-
hold on, I'm not done yet either. I also noticed again that domestic relations did not put a reason for the request. If you look at Kathy Nelson's request, it is blank. Wait, oh, there, wait, disregard, we're okay there. She didn't put it in the,
Line above.
yeah. So I'll make a motion to approve all but the request for additional appropriations from Rachel.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Banks.
Yes.
Okay, next up, we have a request from Dayspring to dispose of a van that they're not going to replace, and they'll place it on Gov Deals.
Second.
Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears. Or Banks.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have a request from CSEA that they may proceed with an offer for a clerical position. They're going to proceed with the necessary background checks and whatnot if approved. So may we have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have a quote from CSI. They're going to be doing some work, and I understand it's going to be a transmitter repair, right, Mr. Keller? Yes. So they're basically gonna be doing work on our two parts. There's two parts. Andrew, great job on going back and forth with them on what we can have in the contract. They're gonna be doing some fire system work for an amount of three. May we have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Casey, what fund's that coming out of? That's my next note.
General Fund.
Okay. All right, Hayden, any questions? All right, seeing no further business, we will recess until 10 o'clock.
Always better to ask for forgiveness.
Commission, yeah.
All right. You're here, Patrick.
Your conspiracy,
You are always the last budget.
I appreciate that.
One, because you're the auditor and we talk overall. Two, because you're just a big pain in the butt.
And that's all natural.
Yeah. And three, we have our annual revenue back. So,
You want to do that first?
no, we do that last. We do
I
that.
want to approve the contract
And
for,
we have we have a couple things first. So let's get the logistical items out of the way.
Sure.
So we have a contract with Julian and Grobe. My understanding is you're recommending option 3, right?
It's the cheapest,
You do 3 years to assist with our required financial reports,
sir.
right? You know, when I took the seat, the coffers, the paufers, the offers, they do a really good job. So, at this time, I'll ask for a motion that we enter into a contract with Julian and Grobe. It's a 3-year engagement at $32,300 a year. You get a discount since you go to 3 years. To assist the county and their, in completing and reviewing their, required financial.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Barrel,
Yes.
Premiers. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Pat, now let's talk about your budget.
What would you like to talk about? I'll answer any of your questions
Why don't you give us a little bit of overview here for,
with you,
you don't even have your budget?
because I thought you guys were reviewing it and going to ask me questions. You know, it's all up here.
You want to be our latex salesman?
You want?
I can grab mine.
That's all that stuff.
No, that's okay. Okay.
What do you have though?
Oh, I didn't bring the budget. I just brought my document that proves my numbers are right.
Yeah, I don't have the budget. I just have the.
No, Stacy's grabbing her.
Okay.
That's why I give them extra copy.
I can see by now, auditor responsible for county's finances doesn't even have his own budget,
It's on the computer.
which is not here.
I didn't bring my laptop because I don't have one.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks. Stacy.
I think it's all of them.
So. First one, which is 02000000, is the main budget out of the general fund. And on the personal service schedule, I tried to do something in such a way in relationship to the work study. So where everybody was at and which ones were gonna get stipends. If that's the word that we're gonna use, that's fine, but I highlighted that in yellow. And my understanding is, we're gonna shoot for the end of January. Stipends, for the people that are required to have stipends. Outside of that, I'm indicating an increase in conveyance fees. We haven't had a slowdown. I bumped that up by $100,000, which I'm probably going to be, I don't want to give this away, but I'm probably going to be, well, I'm already over that part of the budget. For the current year, we're already at
How much?
1.5. I put down 1.35.
Yeah.
But that gives me enough room when a certain county commissioner comes over and tells me to stop sandbagging. But right now, we've,
Well, we'll get to your sandbagging,
right now,
because I'm gonna dazzle the
Wait.
public with numbers you presented.
currently, we're at 1.5 for conveyance fees. I don't really see that going down that much. But then again, you guys, I've already explained to you before that I'd rather tell you, I'm sorry, I was wrong, you got more money than to tell you I was wrong and money, because it sucks to cut appropriations, and I would never want to put you guys in that position.
So I show conveyance fees year to date are 10% more through October than last year. You are correct.
Yeah.
We were at 1.52. And last year, we were at 1.3 through October.
Right.
So we are 10% higher.
That's eventually going to cease. It's been climbing for the last at least 5 or 6 years. I'm sure we're gonna flatten out at some period of time. And that's what at least when I present the numbers to you, I'd rather be low than to be high.
Now, we should know, while it is an increase over the past couple of years, we know property taxes have been a big talking point.
Mhm.
We are actually a little less this year than where we were last year. We're about 0.5% less year to date in real estate taxes than we were last year. Now, it's still up based off the valuations from a couple of years ago, but
Correct.
it has seemed to at least stabilize.
Stabilize, yes. And that's all inside millage,
Correct.
because the general fund does not have a levy.
That's correct.
And then, outside of that, the, salary is down a little. And as far as like the health insurance, I always wait on Stacy to provide that figure to us. Just using what we had last year, what was budgeted for this year, or the estimate for next year for
My
20.
general fund estimate for health insurance next year, which is something we really need to talk about, particularly contributions to premiums. I'm looking at about $5.5 million expense in health
Wow.
insurance to the general fund, which would be a 40% increase.
Crazy.
2022.
It's still
40%.
crazy. Think about it.
$5.5 million.
It's an average of 10% a year. It's not sustainable.
I was talking
Think
to
about it.
Township. Did Madison say their premium, their cost for next year, looking at a 40% increase? Because they had some significant claims and not the same amount of employees that we have to.
Right,
So if you have a huge claim,
right. Yeah, that's a significant factor. Especially when you have a limited number of employees.
Yeah.
Spread that claim over.
I'm looking at $5.5 million next year. Take a little bit under.
And then the next document in my budget would be the IT budget. And that salary request is going up about $20,000. Part of it has to do with the wage study and one of the individuals who's received their master's degree put in a different category. He's a little bit higher than the others, and because of his time and effort and the fact that it's not that they're not all good up there, they're all great. They all do a good job, and but he should be rewarded for the fact that he did that. And we don't have a college program in our department where the county pays for someone to go to college. He did that all on his own. And earned his own master's degree without the county contributing a single dollar to it. And I just felt that he should be rewarded for that.
He does a really good job.
Besides the fact that not only does he do a good job, but they all do. And there'll be 2 people in IT that'll be part of the stipend. And if you look on the service schedule, you'll see which 2 those are. The other person in IT, he will also be part of the stipend, but he's in real estate because that's where his main focus is with us. So he's in the real estate budget, which is the third budget that we have. And we're asking for an increase in salary by about $20,000 compared to the current. But some of that is reflective with the wage study. And then in real estate, there's actually 5 people or 4 people because John Jurger is split between real estate and the general fund that they'll be part of the stipends from the wage study. Then I have the 5th document is just a cumulative service schedule that shows all the employees in the county auditor's office and what the different factors are related to the wage study. And what category they're in, and then the ones highlighted in yellow are the ones that will receive a stipend and won't receive a raise. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Just thanks for working with us so well with the wage study when we,
Hey, I gave you my word, I would, and even if it was even if I felt like it was cod liver oil sometimes,
I think I
Keep 'em.
think it's at a good spot. I think maybe as you also position, I do think there's been some changes in a good way for
right.
ways to continue to get some increases. We'll also realize maybe a couple years while the scales move to have some stipends. So
Now, the only other thing I want to point out is, I do have an employee that's going to be retiring in September of 26. So I'm going to go back through the budget and, because I'm going to have to split it between general fund and real estate assessment. So the actual numbers I'm requesting will go down from the salary, but they'll be moved to the term. And I'll give you an updated budget probably next week that shows what those numbers are.
For payout.
A payout, yeah.
there will be a payout, but you're not planning on filling that at this time?
I was,
Maybe.
still a toss up.
Okay.
As whether or not we're gonna fill it. At one time, we had clerks in finance, and we've been getting by with only three. Actually, we got by with one last year, which was not fair to the supervisor and the employee. Now we're back up to three clerks and a supervisor when it comes to finance. And I just haven't decided if there's enough to add somebody. Because Johnny does help out sometimes, and we'll just see how this year goes with the end of the year and in the beginning of the year. And if we don't need somebody, then I won't. But if I do need somebody, then I'll come and talk to you guys ahead of time and let you guys know what I need, and I'll listen to what you have to say. And if it's something that we need to work in the 27's budget instead of towards the end of 26, but I have not budgeted for a new employee as of right now. I'm just not sure if it's gonna be necessary, and if it's not necessary, I won't do it just for the sake of doing it. But I'm leaning towards thinking about having somebody. I know that the two people we hired this year, they're younger. And they while they have experience or college education, but the one has an accounting degree. I'm not sure that if I'm gonna need a new supervisor sometime down the road, I wouldn't want to hire somebody that has more experience. So that's also a factor. But like I said, I'll discuss it with you guys when we get to that point.
I like that part where you said you'd listen to what we have to say.
I mean,
We got that in the minutes there, Stacy. Make sure we bold.
That always does, but some other,
well, I mean, that's just reality. That's the way people should be.
I did have two questions. And it's on the,
Well, you guys, I thought you didn't have any questions when I asked you.
No.
we just wanted to hear from you first.
Oh,
You answered some of our,
all right,
and organized crime.
that is, okay, that's actually conveyance forms. No, the vendor license
Vendor
went up
license.
from $25 to $50. And it started in July of this year.
This, not us, the state.
The state increased the fee
Increased it.
from 25 to 50.
So
So
you,
the extra 25 actually, and I don't know what this has to do with vendors' licenses, but we have to send the extra 25 to the state of Ohio for organized crime.
Mhm.
Are they in the NBA gambling scheme? Is that what it's for, or what? Is there,
If that's what
you're moving to Ohio or what?
$4,000 is the total that you.
Yeah, we're doubling what we're.
We're guessing,
Yeah.
yeah. And we
So
don't know, we don't know how.
We
many
expect to
vendor
get
licenses.
8,000 in revenue, vendor's license, and half of that will have to go to organized crime in Columbus.
Mhm.
And we got
Only
to,
ought to know about.
I mean, I feel like that's a shot at Italians right there.
you know, when I asked that question, I was met with silence. So, because I said, listen, I got a commissioner that won't be happy about this, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, here it is in the
like
State
a-
Department of Taxation.
Done it.
But give him another chance to tell us that he's Italian, so we kind of liked it.
It's the additional $25 is to be allocated to the Organized Crime Commission Fund to fight organized retail theft.
Oh,
And then the other thing was, you're probably waiting for somebody to tell you how much you're gonna owe in workman's comp.
Right. And usually you guys provide that to us,
Jenny provides that to
Yeah.
departments.
and it's usually an estimate, and she gives usually good numbers. I mean, we never have come back to ask you to increase our appropriation for workers' comp.
Fine.
Are you ready for the fun stuff?
Well, wait, I mean, is there no more questions? Are we good?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And you were worried.
All right, so before we get to our numbers, and full disclosure, I do not like my number this year. Okay.
Listen, you never like your number.
Now, keep in mind that the late great Aaron Wiggin, who had a lot of experience in public finance, said the county auditor should never lose to a county commissioner in revenue projections.
Well, the county auditor has always said,
Okay,
it doesn't matter. It's a win.
I'm just saying, and you lost last year. You got me. The 2 previous years you lost. So let's see what you can do. But I have some.
What about the 2 years prior to that?
We don't need to talk about.
That's right.
All right. So can we first talk about? We all agree being conservative is the way to go, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Can we first talk about how you initially provided Stacy with a sales tax projection of 22.5 million?
Well, you hadn't talked to me for about 5 weeks.
I know you've changed it, but let's start from the beginning.
That was on your list, and I figured the only way I could get you to talk to me is if I sandbagged by $5 million, and it worked.
So by my
Same day I turned it in, you came over.
look, I think, and again, this impacts my numbers certainly giving some of my methodology away. I think we're going to probably, if you include the backfill of the sales tax holiday, right? Let's include that we're going to be around or over $27 million in sales tax this year.
Not arguing that with you.
Okay. So 22.5 would be a 20% reduction or decrease in sales tax receipts from 27 or 27, anywhere between 27, 27.3 this year to 22.5.
Right, but that's not what's in the current estimate.
I understand. So you came up to what in the current estimate? 25.6,
25.5.
25.5.
Which is still low.
Okay. So we would agree that there's probably some amount to.
But that estimate has nothing to do with your figure that you're picking.
I understand, but I'm just talking overall budget here because we're gonna have to figure out how much we're gonna have to cut.
I understand.
Okay.
And we'll talk again, I'm sure.
Okay, so you're comfortable in talking again because even at 25.5, let's just say we come in at 27, right?
We'll come in at more than 27.
I agree. I think we're coming around 27.3. Around there.
3, 4, something like that, yeah.
So I think I was conservatively projecting for, well, adding the backfill and whatever, I think 27.3-ish, maybe 27, around that number.
With the backfill, it might even get up to 4 or 5.
Maybe. Scares me because I think your number's gonna be higher than me then, but that's still 6% less. Right?
I will agree with you, but my brain's not working right now, so.
Okay,
You know, I'm dealing with doors that won't open right now, so.
all right. So there's room to move on sales tax.
Absolutely.
Cause I sorta, in my version that I've titled literally the spreadsheet, if Hayden were to request it, the Tony realistic sales tax projection version. I've put in for now, and I still think there might be room to move 26.8.
Okay,
Cause if we come in at 27.3 this year. That's still about 2% less, which I feel,
that's reasonable.
so something to think about. So if we go off with 26.8 and maybe we can go to 27, I don't know. I'm showing we have to cut 8.82%. It's about 4.2 million. Now there's significant capital requests, cruisers, jail kitchen repairs, body scanner, $300,000 for court servers, and over $100,000 in mental health and longevity stipends for the prosecutor's office.
Just so that you guys know, in the budget I submitted for IT, we did include the 2 departments that have requested to become part of county IT, which was Dayspring, which is the second one. They're the second one. The one that we're currently working on is Amanda's wastewater. Dayspring, we're trying to get an estimate of what it would cost to have a point-to-point or somehow get it to where we can get their information back to us.
And we could talk about, because they're outside the general fund, maybe we can add a person. They obviously need to help.
Well, we'll see about that, but that's not part of my.
Understood.
What is part of my budget is like the licenses
Right.
that are gonna increase and possibly some equipment that they're gonna need because in both departments, their equipment is old. But for the most part, that's already included in IT's budget.
So we think there's room to move on sales tax.
Yes, you know there is.
Just want to make sure we got that.
And,
Um,
you know, it's fine because when you smile, then I know it's a good day for me.
Just see me try to get in the building this morning.
I know, but I still believe that you and Matt Hill colluded to ruin my morning, to stop me from being able to put any time and effort into my
All
estimate.
right, so what's your number for the bet?
What's my number?
I think I don't like my number.
My number is $49,523,703.53.
You're gonna win.
40.
I'm 49.4,
523
almost identical.
703
I knew it.
53.
0.53.
I got a little conservative. I think you're gonna win.
And Tony, yours is what, 40?
49.4. We're almost
What-
spot on.
Like just 49?
49.4.
That's it? Okay.
Hmm,
I was at about 49.47 something yesterday and I came,
49 523
You should go with your gut,
703.
still be less than yours.
but you still should go with your gut.
Okay.
So what's his number?
49,
Hold
523.
hold on. Get to my October. 49.
523 703.53.
I want you to win, because that means we'll do better in revenue. Shoot, I knew it.
Yes.
I know it's like
I knew he was gonna come
record,
there.
but
We were close though.
not off the record, I know, but I just want, and I know I sent you guys an email a couple weeks ago, but your ladies, great job, and especially her, like, I could never have stayed afloat last year, in the year, or beginning of
Yes,
the
he
year.
was a
without
great
her.
help.
He's amazing.
Be the help, but, so I just want to say that, so you guys know. I know I told you in the email, but it's, yeah.
It's very much appreciated that you say that. We know it. Glad she could hear that.
Well, she heard it a lot last year. A lot when there was only two people in that department.
You used to be a lot more conservative in your projections and it's throwing.
Worried about the projection.
That's how I know I'm winning.
Well, as Stacy knows, I always start my questions with, I know I'm wrong and I should know this, but because she knows everything and is wonderful. And I apologize to her when I ask questions because I should know the answers and sometimes I just don't.
Having a history and experience
And I
is
don't,
meaningful.
do they all know about the stipend thing, what we're working on?
I'm familiar with the scales.
No, because, okay. We're gonna, yeah. We're gonna, so what we're doing too, just so you guys know, like Stacy and I talked with Andrew, we're gonna try and make, so if they're not getting a raise, we want everybody, make sure they're there all through January. That's why we would like to pay them their stipend at the end of January. Instead of the rate, most people get the raise for the first check in January. But we would like to do it in a paper check. Because you explain better.
Because we don't want to bump them up to another tax bracket
Bracket.
and have more taxes taken out than what's necessary. And we don't want it to be mixed in with
A regular
a
payroll.
regular payroll. But
It
still,
all comes out in the wash when you file your taxes.
it does.
But
it
it's
does.
just easier also for.
Right.
Track, we.
Yeah, that comes up in the
Check.
private sector.
We're gonna have it, we're gonna come up with a check system of, if we did it, if it can't go direct deposit, because it's so.
We're still trying to find that out.
I have a call, an email and a call in, but, we just would have a checking system, like, okay, this department, they put in, we'd print guys, or maybe Stacy would already say, oh, that department, these are the people. We have like 9 people that would get a stipend, so you would be able to check, well, Laura entered 10 people for a stipend, well, who else is getting this stipend? They got a raise and a stipend, that's all. We're just trying to
Yeah.
help catch.
we're just trying to find another way of making sure that somebody doesn't accidentally get both. Because that defeats the purpose of the wage study.
Yeah.
I participate in the wage study. I want to make sure.
So cooperatively and fun.
Well, and I only brought it up
I
because
said it was like cod
he
liver
brought up
oil, but I
the-
gave you my word.
paying them at the end of January, I knew. I know Daryl just kind of had a look like, so that's the only reason why wanted to tell you what it was.
So just looking
We're
at,
trying to, we're just gonna do them at the end of January,
makes sense.
done one time, then that's all they're gonna get.
Bad news on the numbers we're both projecting now, and we're close, is that would only be about a 1% increase from last year's revenue.
From last year, well, I can tell you right now. It's gonna be more than that.
Really? I hope so. So I'm losing, but dang, I thought you might.
Cause listen, I don't like this.
It's not great.
I don't like to see you lose.
I don't like it.
Because then you're difficult to deal with for at least 2 or 3 weeks until after Thanksgiving and then you've had your holiday.
Not until December anyway.
He loses or wins. What do you mean he's different?
Oh, that's true. He's difficult, he's just more difficult.
There you go.
But the whole thing is I only look at 6 times the revenue.
Right, I do too, but what you're trying to do is revenue always usually dips from October to December because we've gotten upfront fees, right?
Sure.
So you're trying to project the decrease while also looking at what sales tax is gonna be, right? So that's, we're doing the same thing
Right.
for the most part.
But there are some people whose estimates of revenue that have been provided are below their estimate right now. And I usually don't count on them when I do my projection for the bet because I don't know what's gonna happen until they actually make their deposits in November and December. And I will tell you, I don't use any of November's information because even though it's the 12th, there's some revenue that's come in. None of the big stuff has come in yet. About 3 or 4 more days for the local government. And we should get one more casino.
Yeah, she's,
Right, but,
yep, I think she's putting that in right now.
So,
okay,
but I do appreciate your time and I
Come on.
appreciate your help.
man in the back might have some questions.
I have no comment.
I just have a question for you, Tom. I mean, this is really the first time I've, been around for a full budget season. I know you try and normally get to the balanced budget, I believe, before the end of the year. So I mean, sticking to that time schedule, I mean, you expect to have it done before the end of the year.
The only commissioners that I've ever worked with that have stuck to that schedule and have done it every single year. And I didn't have to deal with a temporary budget in the next year.
That sounds like a headline.
And that,
I think you need man, you got some good headlines
that
here.
includes when Marilyn was here.
We really improved since she left and got Cliff.
I'm not going to say that.
That's a headline.
Budget process improved since they got rid of Marilyn John.
Ever since Tony and Daryl were elected and were with Maryland, they stuck to that time frame and they've never broken that time frame. Because it is a pain
Had to open up
of a temporary.
business late.
Well, heck, we approved the budget on New Year's Eve, didn't we, one year, Stacy? So, yeah, we already got some budget meetings penciled in, and that's when Carl would just sit there and we just go over the numbers and numbers and numbers, so that gets to happen. So, anything else?
That's it.
All right, well, it's 10:30, so at this time, I'll ask for motion to go into executive session to discuss compensation of a public employee.
So moved.
Yeah.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
You're gonna come in.
Yes.
All right, at this time, or first, we are out of executive session, had a very good discussion with the sheriff. We have nothing to report at this time. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to go into executive session with our wastewater department, and Daryl's moved. I can second that. So this is for labor negotiations. Cliff, you coming?
Commissioner Verrill,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Here, what?
I'm gonna say yes to go into executive
Yes.
session. Banks.
Yes.
Okay, we are back in session at 11:53. Nothing to report, but we are hoping we will if, or when we get a tentative agreement on labor negotiations. So seeing no further business, we will adjourn.